Also going to hit superb. Yay. All right. So without any further ado, I am going to um, kick off and let's get underway. So, my name is Lisa Johnston. Welcome. I am one of the community members with Connect United, and I have the great, absolute pleasure to share with you tonight all things blockchain and our ecosystem. So, this slide here, please feel free to take a screenshot. Let me simplify it for you. That this is the legal page. And in plain English, no hype, no guarantees, just value and transparency. We're not offering get rich quick schemes. What we're offering here for you as tools. And this is about empowerment through education and tech. And it is your responsibility for your own journey. I am just here to illuminate the path for you. So feel free to take a screenshot. And this one here, I am going to summarize and chat into for you. So, this is our disclaimer summary. Some of the things that I may talk about this evening may contain forward looking statements. No earning claims or financial advice will be given. The digital rewards are for utility. And this is my favorite acronym, DYOR, do your own research. So, the information provided this evening is for education purposes, and nodes and blockchain are governed by the DGF, the Distributed Governance Framework. So, before I get underway, as I said, my name is Lisa Johnston. I have been playing in this space for wow, I think it's coming up just over 3 years. So I'm an older mum. My girls are now young women. I no longer have children, I have young adults. So my girls are 18 and 19. And how I came about to be in this space, I remember vividly my eldest one starting high school. And she said, oh, well, when we went to the information evening for starting high school, the principal actually said that 50% of the jobs that existed at that time would not even exist by the time they finish high school. And so that really had me think in a space of, not from a space of, excuse me, of fear, but from a space of, wow, I wonder what's coming. Because for me, I'm that's just the way I'm built. It's always like that's, opportunity in every adversity. So, what we've got going on right now, I'll say this now, and I will probably repeat it again, is that you can choose whether you are part of the problem or the solution, and the choice is yours. And I'm not here to convince you to talk you into anything, or as I said, I'm just here to educate you. And one of the core values, which I absolutely love about Connect United, is that we fundamentally are all about education. And so you really want to be educating yourself in this space. If you do nothing else, at least educate yourself in the space. So let's start by naming what most people only feel. And the reality is that something is broken, whether it's the financial system, the healthcare, education, or media, we all know it. Systems that were meant to serve us have actually become systems that control us. And the truth is, the old world's crumbling and a new one is being built right now, whether you know it or not. If this is your first time in this space, I'm probably going to blow your mind up with what I'm going to share tonight, and that's totally okay. If I can encourage you just to kind of be open and use this as your first experience, if it is your first, to learn and educate and just become aware. So if you're anything like me, I needed to watch and learn some of the videos. The person who invited you to the call tonight will be able to share more information with you, get back to them. And for me, I had to watch stuff 5, 6, 7 times. And, it's really about unplugging, and you will get some new um, pathways that will happen going on as I'm talking tonight. But, I'm really excited about this space because we get to create And that excites me so much. So let's get a little more specific. It's not that just the systems are broken. Really, here's how the systems are broken. Energy, we're overpaying for outdated infrastructure while destroying the planet. The food, we're served shelf stables that really are products filled with chemicals, very no new. I'm not even going to say very little, no nutrition at all. Our healthcare, we manage the symptoms endlessly and really never address the root causes. I know that some people in this space certainly are aware and are doing things in that space, which I'm one of those, and I love it. However, if we talk about in the general population, it's about band-aid. It's not about addressing the root causes. So also in finance, a small group controls the access to the wealth while everybody else is struggling to keep up. I don't know when was the last time that you went to the bank to pull out a substantial amount of money, and your money, in fact, and the bank went bum bum, and you had to almost, it was like the Spanish Inquisition just to even make a withdrawal. I did a big family trip over Christmas and January with my family, and my husband and I were booking accommodation online. And we were set. I had the privilege of being a Kentucky tour leader in my 20s, so we kind of knew where we were going, and so we were booking the accommodation ourselves. And we were about two-thirds of the way through, and then all of a sudden, my bank shut down. And just went, no, you can no longer use that because we had gone to a certain quota, and I had to ring them, and honestly, it was just a freaking nightmare. And that was our own money that they were questioning on, what were we spending it on, and what were we doing. And so all of these things aren't isolated problems, they're systematic and across the board. So now let's talk about what's coming at us and what's coming at us fast, and that is AI. Love it or hate it, AI is accelerating faster than any technology we've seen before. So throw in the chat if you're someone who uses Chat GPT. Chat GPT reached 1 million users in 5 days, and by 2 months, that had actually reached 1 million people. Crazy. Also, while you're jumping in the chat, jump in and share where you're calling in from tonight. I always love a little bit of interaction to let me know that you're there. And, one of the other things, big tech, OpenAI, Google, Meta, they're all racing to dominate the future. And I don't know if you saw recently that good old Zucky from Facebook actually had just hired the number one AI dude from ChatGPT. So they're all racing to dominate in this space. And here's the real issue with all of that. This is actually unchecked power. It's not just an innovation, it's actually control. And that is not cool. So, through all of this transformation, through every click that you're making, every word spoken, every moment, every movement is tracked. Big tech has watched us, and they continue to. They've listened, they've learnt, they've profited, and we have got absolutely nothing in return. And so, what I'm really excited to share with you tonight is that I'm here to show you, to share with you that ends today if you choose. And this excites me like you would not believe. I'm a real advocate for freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of speech, freedom in spending our own freaking money, and doing with it what we want to do with it when we want to do it. So let's have a quick look. So this graph here, the reality is we really have to take a look at how the internet has evolved, because to understand where we're going to, we really need to understand where we've been. So at the bottom of that graph, you'll see Web 1, and this was the era of read-only internet. So think about static websites, early e-commerce, big corporates, building the infrastructure, and users could only consume the content, but there was absolutely no power. We then moved into Web3, and that was brought to us sort of like this is when, pardon me, this is when social media came in, platforms like Facebook and Airbnb created huge value. And the reality was that they still controlled everything. They controlled your data, your network, your identity, all centralized and owned by them. And this was the rise of what we believe and we call platform capitalism. So then we moved into Web3, and Web3 was the promise of decentralization. So ownership, this was, this is pretty cool space because the ownership moved into the hands of the users through things like crypto, blockchain, started and is talked about more and more, and tokens. We started seeing that peer-to-peer transfer, the value transfer through smart contracts and decentralized apps. Um, but that's still evolving, okay? And so what I'm really excited about is if you look right at the end, you will see the question mark on the far right. So what's next? And what does that's what we're going to dive into, because Web 4 isn't just an upgrade, it's actually a fundamental shift. And it's super exciting. So crypto and artificial intelligence could be a $20 trillion mega trend. And that's not just hype, it's actually a warning shot. So we've witnessed the early stages of the biggest economic shift since the internet. And we're moving through that right now. Crypto and AI aren't two separate trends anymore, they're actually converging. Together, they're forming a new digital infrastructure. And just like this article here, this $20,000 mega trend is not about speculation, it's about participation. And the real opportunity isn't buying coins, it's building with the tech. Okay. And those who position themselves right now will lead the future. Now, what I will say is, I'm actually not looking at the chat as well. I love seeing it flashing and stuff like that. So the activity is happening. If you are asking questions, I will be doing a questions and answers at the end, because what you'll find is I may answer most of your questions through the presentation as we go, and then I will certainly swing back at the end to answer any questions. So let me introduce you now to Web 4. It's not just the next version of the internet, and it's a complete paradigm shift. Okay, so I mentioned it before, but it is really a completely different way of thinking and a paradigm shift. In Web 4, AI works for you, not against you. Blockchain protects you and rewards you instead of harvesting and selling your data, which is one of the things I don't like about being on Zoom, because they're listening and collecting all of our information. Get me back on R-Link ASAP so that I don't have to do that. And we're going through a really big upgrade, which is why we're just moving to Zoom for a short time, and we will be back onto our beautiful R-Link before you know it. So the other thing with Web 4, value flows to you. There is not the middleman or the platforms, and your entire digital life becomes automated, connected, and most importantly, it's owned by you. So AI, that you own this. We call hashtag we own this, because this isn't a place for you to scroll. Web 4 is a world that you live inside. Now, as I said, please just understand it's a paradigm shift. When I first heard that, terrified the absolute bejeebies out of me. And then once I understood it, I actually went, yes, I'm getting the control back for me, and I'm owning my own personal information, because everything becomes personalized, intelligent, and rewarding. So by design. And that's where Blockbot comes in. So Web 4 isn't just a technical upgrade, it's an emotional shift. It feels different because it puts you at the center of your digital world. Your AI doesn't wait, it anticipates. Your data isn't exploited, it's protected. And your actions don't disappear, they're rewarded. Your calendar, tools, and finances finally work in sync. This isn't about more apps, okay? So don't think more chaos. It's about less chaos and more control. You're no longer just the user of the platform, you're the owner, the operator, the one in charge. And that is the promise of Web 4, and we're building it right now. It is underway. It is so exciting. And so, if you have a look, um, this is what we're talking about with the projected 20 trillion market opportunity by 2030. AI is a $1.81 trillion business. Blockchain is a 20 to 20 trillion business, and social is 1.4 to 116 trillion ad revenue. What does that mean? They are harvesting, collecting your data, and making a shitload of money off you and your information, and you are getting zip for it. So, this vision didn't just start yesterday. It actually started in 2015. We began patenting the foundational technology for something the world had never seen. An AI robot not controlled by big tech and powered by the blockchain. So, a digital being designed to work for you, not to spy on you. So, no longer collecting your information. 10 years later, that vision is no longer a dream. The future's arrived and its name's Blockbot. He's super cool. You can get lots of different designs. If you go Googling, you will find that there's a whole bunch of people that have put dresses and superhero capes and all sorts on Blockbot. It's an AI assistant, a guide, a new kind of digital twin, and it's powered by the blockchain, not by corporate greed. Blockbot isn't just a new tool, it's a revolution. And it's the way we connect to the new internet. A digital assistant powered by the blockchain, designed to serve you, not to track you. This is your gateway into Web 4 and a world where you are in control. Hashtag we own this. So we've seen this kind of shift before. The internet gave us the AOL. Do you remember when you used to put the big CDs into the CD-ROM? Some of you may be old enough to remember that, where you put the CD in and it made that whirring noise to get started. You could go away, make a cup of tea, come back, and it was still going to actually get you onto the internet. Well, that changed how we accessed information. The good old mobile phone gave us iPhone and it changed the way that we connected on the go. AI gave us Chat GPT that I mentioned and changed the way that we learn and create. And now Web 4 gives us Blockbot. It's your guide to the next evolution of the web. And it lives on the blockchain and it works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's always learning, always helping, always earning on your behalf. And you're not just using it, you own it. As I said, hashtag we own this. So this is Blockbot. It's your AI engine for the Web 4. But it's more than just a bot. It's a living, evolving system that grows with you. It learns your behavior, your preferences, and your missions. It earns daily rewards through proof of action, not speculation. It connects you to other users, projects, and rewards on the ecosystem, which I'm going to talk more into in a moment. And more importantly, it rewards you automatically every time you show up. You're not selling, you're not chasing, you're activating a system that does the work for you. Blockbot is super cool. And this is where everything comes together. Blockbot and the Win blockchain form an engine for a new economy built on proof of action. Every action you take, learning, sharing, selling, helping others is recorded on chain and rewarded. This isn't speculation. This isn't hype. You're getting paid because you're not getting paid because a token's being pumped. Somebody says you should follow this or do this and then, whatever, and you hope and pray. You're not getting paid because a token's pumped. You're actually getting rewarded because you showed up and did the work. The more consistent your activity, the more you earn. And it's all backed by real products, real revenue, and real world impact. This is value tied to action, not attention. And that changes everything. So, if you have a quick squeeze at this slide as well, and I'm going to talk more into the real world projects, but this is just the smart flow real world revenue and real rewards. So, the person who invited you to the call, if they haven't yet, they will send you a link that gives you a free account with Connect United. Within that, whether you purchase what's called a node, and I'll talk a little bit about that, it's simply a piece of software. Whether you do or you don't, you have access to our Learn to Earn Academy. And normally I talk into at this point, but we're not on our link. Real world projects are things like our link, are like our Grow project. And so you can purchase the software from the Connect United shopping cart. And then we have buy side pressure. So somebody can have a subscription, just like you have a subscription to Zoom with our link, which creates buy side pressure, and they won't even be interested or know that they're part of the blockchain. And then ranked impact block bots. So all of this, it creates a smart flow. So you can see there from the picture, agriculture, nourishing people, animals. These are some of our projects, animals and the planet. Energy, own part of the largest public global decentralized power grid in the world and help set power free. I'll talk a little more into that because I paid my electric bill the month before last, my quarter, with green tokens. That's the name of the project. It was cheaper. My electric bill turned out to be cheaper, and I got rewarded by doing that. So it's super cool. And the person who invited you to the call will be able to give you more information on each of the projects. Banking, we have Switch Reward Card, which is a bridge and a guide between the world of traditional finance, TradeFi, and DeFi. Health and wellness, Galvin is an app that's already operating. You can get it from Apple Store, takes ownership of your health and harvest all through the blockchain. Social impact platform, we have the world's first community-owned social impact platform. Video conferencing, R-Link that I spoke about, revolutionizing communication with blockchain technology. Once that's back up and running, which won't be too far, fingers crossed in the next few days, ask the person who invited you to this call to show you that platform. It is next level, unbelievable, and certainly worth having a look at. We have charity that is on the blockchain. We support a number of different charities. That's one-to-one, so you can see where your charity dollars are going to. One of the charities that I absolutely love is called Free a Girl. You can Google and have a look at any of our projects as well as any of the charities on socials. They've got their own website and everything. Free a Girl is actually child trafficking. Really, one of the things I'm very passionate about. Since Connect United has been part of Free a Girl, we have rescued just over 3,800 kids, and we have brought more than 30 perpetrators to justice. And what's really cool when we rescue the kids, they actually get the opportunity to be educated. We don't, not just rescue, see you later. They can go and we educate them if they choose, and a lot of them are choosing to do that and go into legals and taking on the perpetrators. So that just makes my heart sing. So remember, I said to you, you can be part of the problem or part of the solution. We actually get to be part of the solution. We're making a real impact in the world and changing people's lives. And then ethical mining element, definitely recommend that you go and have a look into that as well, because there is so much in that as well. So let's talk about Blockbot and let me break it down for you. So it is not unusual for people to spend 1,200 bucks on an iPhone, and what do you get back? You get a constant distraction, endless scrolling, and zero return. You don't own that ecosystem. You're actually the product. So they're making money from you. Sorry, just having a mouthful of water. 2000 on a laptop, which is, look, it's a work tool. A lot of us use them on where I'm on my laptop right now, and it's a work tool. That's what it is. It doesn't reward you, it doesn't grow with you, and it just helps you get the job done. Now compare that to Blockbot. So a Blockbot costs 2000. And here's what you get back. You get daily rewards, automation that saves you time, and ownership of your digital activity and data. Hashtag we own this. It's not just another tool, it's a system that works for you. With Blockbot, you're not buying hardware, you're actually investing in a smarter, pardon me, fairer digital life, one that actually pays you back. You get rewarded. You're not the product, you get rewarded. It's super cool. This isn't a concept, it's already happening. We're now the fastest growing AI blockchain ecosystem in the world. We have over, these numbers are slightly out, by the way, because this slide, it's just growing so fast. We have over 41,000 block bots across 174 countries, and over 1 trillion transactions and 560 billion in mined rewards. And this is real traction. This isn't theory, it's actually momentum. Oop, just got the warning. See, that's what you get when you get the free one. So again, if this cuts out, guys, I apologize. We'll come back. I just don't want to give Zoom any more money. Not supporting BlackRock or anything anymore. Anyway, so let's get cracking. Blockbot isn't a theory. It's always powering real world impact across industries, no matter that matter most. In the video conferencing, as I said, it protects your privacy and keeps your conversations secure. No harvesting in your information. In energy, it helps people lower their power bill, as I shared with you, and you earn through smarter systems. In food, so we now have 5 farmers that are part of the Grow project here in Australia who invited you to the call, have them show you the Grow project and also the Nourish Mart. So I recently just bought some meat with my Grow rewards, and that delivery is expected to arrive next week. So real world products, real world solutions, which makes me super pumped, because in food, it's promoting clean, locally sourced and fair distribution, not industrial manipulation, which we're seeing more and more. In health, it's shifting the focus to the root causes, not just prescribing pills. In finance, it's breaking down the barriers across and through decentralized tools. And in AI, it's building personalized assistants that actually serve you, not spy on you. This isn't just one app or a project, it's one system that scales across infinite industries and growing. And the best part, you own your piece of it. You're not a user on the outside, you're a co-owner of the future. And this here is a snapshot of our ecosystem. And you can see some of the projects that I've spoken into here already tonight. And this is so much bigger than one tool. When you activate your Blockbot, you're not just buying software, you're actually plugging into a living ecosystem of the decentralized projects. So from energy with Green, wellness with Galvin, agriculture with Grow, AI tools, finance, education, communication, and so much more. Each of these community owned, yes, hashtag we own this, community owned, powered by the same Wind blockchain, and all connected through Connect. So Blockbot is the little guy in the center. that you see there, and all of the projects feed back through. So if there's a particular project that you love and you want to be a part of, 100% get behind that. And the person who invited you will be able to give you more information about each of the projects as well, because it's just kind of like an Apple store if you think about it. And this is Web 4, except this time you're not just a user, you are an owner. Everything is designed to reward action, not speculation. And the more you explore, the more powerful your blockbot becomes. This is the universe you're plugging into. One system, dozens of industry, endless opportunity. And so that brings me to the end. And I'm just going to stop share because I still do have about 6 minutes. I'm going to quickly go over to Joe. Just saw your face. G'day, sweetheart. Hello, everybody. I'm going to, um, all right. Cooper's just jumped off. All right, I'm going to quickly go through. If anybody's got any questions, um, please feel free to pop them in the chat or feel free to unmute and happy to answer any questions that you may have. Hmm, maybe I did a really good job and there's no questions. I'm just going to stop the recording as well.